Hi, welcome to Ms. Richardson's U.S. History 5-Minute Lectures. This information is U.S. Notes 5.13, The U.S. Goes to War in Vietnam. It includes information that aligns with the second section on your U.S. study guide. Remember, you control the lecture. Use your study guide to help you take the notes, pause when you need to write, and rewatch if you have to. Let's go ahead and get started. As I told you in the last set of notes, Diem, the leader of South Vietnam, was overthrown and assassinated in November of 1963. Just a few weeks later, JFK was also assassinated. So this meant that the new plans for Vietnam were now left up to the new president, Lyndon B. Johnson, who had been Kennedy's vice president. President Johnson believed that the U.S. must live up to their anti-communist worldviews, or we would lose the respect from other countries. He also believed that the North Vietnamese were simply Chinese puppets and not being promoted by themselves, but actually doing what China wanted. So his advisors told him that just a small investment in troops and money could lead to a very rapid victory over communism in Vietnam, which would be successful containment and would secure the U.S. position in Asia and make us very popular with our allies. Yeah, as we know looking back, they were wrong. First, Johnson increased the numbers of military advisors in Vietnam and began to beef up numbers of troops. So then, in July of 1964, tension in the area led to conflict, and the direction was set. So we had to go to war at that point. On July 30th, 1964, in the Gulf of Tonkin, North Vietnamese ships claimed that they were attacked by the South and the U.S. The U.S. and the South denied this. 3 days later, North Vietnamese torpedo boats attacked a U.S. ship in the Gulf of Tonkin. So that arrow is pointing to the Gulf of Tonkin. 2 days later, the U.S. claimed there was a second attack that occurred. North Vietnam has never admitted a second attack, and so there's some question on some of what people claimed during this event. But following all these actions by the North Vietnamese and the U.S. Congress made the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution on August 7th, 1964. Congress said that the president could kind of do what he wanted. The resolution ultimately declared that the president can take all necessary measures to repel any armed attack against armed forces of the United States and to prevent further aggression. So what does that actually mean? It means that they said that the president did not need Congress to declare war. It essentially gave President Johnson the right to declare war all by himself. It was no longer a power checked by Congress. So why would Congress do that? Why would they give up that power? It's huge. Well, while many of them wanted to do something, most Americans and people were really nervous about another war so soon after World War II and Korea. And think about how Korea worked out for us. So this actually took all the responsibility from Congress and shifted it onto the president. So if it went badly, it was his fault. This is the end of U.S. Notes 5.13. Hope you learned something. I'll see you in class.